We gon' be some rural legends. Don't see us at the bar, tip caps and raised cups. Girls gon' get them titties out whenever they see us. Try and tell us we be nothing, but it didn't mean much. We gon' be some rural legends. Don't see us at the bar, tip caps and raised cups. Girls gon' get them titties out whenever they see us. Try and tell us we be nothing, but it didn't mean much. We gon' be some rural legends.
Like town is a 2 mile in, and Adams County is where I live. Pennsylvania, born and raised, stayed here since I was a kid. Everybody else wanna leave, be athletes and get degrees, trying to find a way out. I'm never gonna bounce, this what I was meant to be. A rural legend, like DUI Steve, getting fucked up in my garage while chasing my dreams.
You gotta be the change that you wanna see. Looking for someone to blame, who's it gonna be? Well, you can put it on me, cause nobody around here sees the man in the mirror any clearer than I do. And I can bring the pain if you wanna be. One of us is gonna break, who's it gonna be? Well, it ain't gonna be me. Ain't no way I'm accepting defeat. I won't stop till that reflection is me.
I don't believe them when they say they know where it is that I'm coming from, cause I never see nobody else when I am here. Whoa, maybe it's me and I just dealt with too much bullshit that has made me numb. When I look around I see nothing that I love here. No,
but I can guarantee you this, wanna have a good time, that's exactly what we'll do. We put in 50 plus hours already this week, got another 8 tomorrow for noon. Stop the pedal on the ride down all our lives, cause it's the only way we know. We never catch breaks and never complain, cause breaks just make you slow down. You can put us in the worst case scenario and we'll come in first place. I know how work and how drink them all. Yeah, that's how the dirt bags roll.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome again to another session of Schmucker Productions Podcast. I'm your host, Samuel Schmucker, and tonight's guest is Dirty. He's currently on tour with the Overtime tour that's going across the nation, and I want him to let you guys know a little bit about that, and we'll dive into some questions after. Welcome to the show, Dirty.
Thanks for having me, man.
Not a problem. Appreciate you being here. So, I know you're currently on tour with Overtime and a few other great artists, and just like it, know what kind of things you got going on with that, and if you can, some of the stops you got coming up, and what other plans you got for it.
All right, so I'm on the Overtime Road to Gold tour. We're starting the second leg next Wednesday in Leavenworth, Kansas. It's Overtime in the band. It's Big Murph, it's Jonesin, it's myself, and Colt Graves is along for not sure how many. I think we have 38 dates on the second leg, and I think he's along for at least like 18 to 20 of them, I think.
Right on.
Yeah, and it's we went all over the country in the first round from March till June, and then this second run's going to be all over the country too. We'll start off in Kansas and then runs the whole way out to Cali and Oregon, and then back across over to the East Coast and stuff.
Sounds like you're going to be busy and a lot of sleepless nights.
Yeah, I mean, you get your 3 to 5 in.
That sounds about typical for tours.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the pleasure of seeing Big Murph I think twice now. Before I was ever into security or doing podcasting or photos or filmmaking, I just was a regular old little pizza delivery guy, and Jelly Roll, Big Murph, Just in Time, and a few other artists came out to a venue that's no longer here. They just tore it down here in Indianapolis, the Pan Am Plaza Pavilion. They just tore it. Yeah, they tore it down. So me and my wife, we got to go to that show, and I got to meet Big Murph that night, got one of his CDs, and then I started getting into security. So You know, I got to work a show with Just in Time and Little White, and through that little aspect, I got to see Big Murph again with Catfish Cooley.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I'm familiar with a lot of them. You know, I had heard some of your music. I just wasn't as familiar with you yet.
Yeah.
And I was seeing that your name was listed on the poster. I was like, oh yeah, he's fire. I've seen some of his music on YouTube on a couple playlists. I was like, all right, let me reach out to him and see if he wants to be on a show, because you know everybody knows Overtime, and he's a hard man to get on the show.
Yeah.
He's said he'd be on, but you got to catch me at the right time. And I was like, I understand that. And Big Murph, you know, he's so busy too with all kinds of things going on. And they Overtime message said, I hit the other artists up, give them a platform, get them out there. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna hit that up. And so I appreciate you doing this, because
Man.
I'm an independent filmmaker, so I also know what it's like to be a form of an artist, but on a very low scale from what you guys do, because you guys are, you know, you start off independent, working your way to where you're comfortable at, and then you hang out there till you want to go back down or boost more up. And for you to take time out away from your family, because a lot of us, we still have daytime jobs, some of us.
Yeah.
So, you know, for you to do this and get on tour is phenomenal, because it's going to get tens of thousands of people to get to know who you are. And next thing you know, you're going to be a headline act and having an hour and a half somewhere, and people are coming out to your shit. And that's
Right.
what we want to see. You know, I've seen a couple artists that's open for shows. I had a couple of them on my show. I had the Almas and I had Raina Z. They both were openers a couple years ago, and now they're headlining, they're touring the world, they're making music videos in Alaska with helicopters and stuff. So
Hell yeah.
it's wonderful to see an artist rise and hit their platform, especially if they got a story. And if they got a struggle story, they got an inspirational story. That's the things that the fans connect with besides that music, because, you know, a song means something to everybody some way different.
Mm-hmm.
And when you put out a song and you tell the story behind your song, now it's got a double meaning to that person. And that's where you get them dedicated, die hard. They're at every show. And I want you to tell us where you started at and how you got to be where you're at, if you can take that time.
Well, I started probably 30 years ago, just rapping, recording at home and stuff with friends. And then as everybody got older, people just went and, you know, did their own thing, grew up, got families, went to jail, died. There's just, you know, everybody just
So many.
Yeah. And I just kind of kept doing it. And then I don't know, like 2015 or so, when I had the song Rural Legends hit with the Redneck Soldiers, I found out that there was a thing called country rap. I didn't know that was a thing at the time. And then
I didn't either. It was
yeah. Yeah, and then that lane just kind of started messing with me. And then I really ain't switched much up, you know what I mean? I try to do all types of music, but I've just been putting music out. And now our son is he's in college, so like to September will be 2 years since I was at a job. But I'm not. Yeah, I mean it's nothing glorious, dude. Like I'm getting by. But
still, you work that's phenomenal when you could sit there at home and be able to make it by. Sometimes struggle a little bit, but you still make it by. You don't have a 9 to 5. That's That's your goal, and you've made it to your goal to be you, not working for the man, working for you.
Right. Yeah.
And that's phenomenal.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. We'll see how long it is. I'm supposed to I'm not for sure. I don't have an official word on it or whatever, but I think I'm going out again with OT next year. So I should be able to keep myself afloat for a whole nother year. And then after that, we'll see what happens. If I build up enough momentum, if I can get enough shows on the books and stuff to keep the shit rolling, I'll keep doing this. If not, I can always go back to throwing bricks at a factory.
Let me ask you this question. Are you familiar with Just in Time?
I've met him once. I just met him down at that Silverado show, the Soul of South Country Rap Fest.
I would I got like two insides to him. I very close friends. Michael Thomas, which is Fedora Mike.
Yeah.
He's a good friend of mine. One of his songs is in my movie. And then I message Justin Reed now and then, but of course he's a real busy person too. So, but I can reach out to him and send him your information, and I'll send you their information, and maybe you guys could get on a tour together, because he does Redneck Rave, and your music would just like, it fits right in with the whole scenario of everything.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we'll see what's up, man. Those guys, they know of me, know about me. If they want to get a hold of me, they'll hit me up. You know what I mean? I try not to. I just stay in my fucking lane, dog. I do my thing. All these, without sounding like a dick, like all these dudes in this shit, they know who I am, or they heard of me, and I just leave it at that. If they want to say what's up, or hey man, how's it going? That's cool. Like, I'll introduce myself at shows, say what's up, they catch their sets and shit, but I just leave people alone, dog. Like,
Hey, I like that too. That's humble. That's what you call being very humble right there. I like that. I like to make I do so many things. I do photography, filmmaking, this podcast. I work a full-time job. So, I got my hands on a lot of different pies, but, I got a history, I've been in and out of jail. So by that aspect, it's also hard for me to find a job and take care of my family and be there when I need to be. So I decided to do this right here. And when I can make a connection with someone, my photography's taking off. Like, I'm coming to Overtime to do photography.
Right.
So he got me put on this guest list so I can come in and kill the whole show, get every artist. And I was appreciative of that. And I've been talking to him for a couple of years now. And that aspect of that network right there was able to get me in to do some photos and give him the photos and be able to use them to show what I can do for future purposes, so I can quit this damn 9-to-5 and get a full-time job doing me.
Yeah.
And when an artist like you sits back and says, yeah, I meet this person, I meet that person, and what's up, how you doing, and roll out and let them decide later down the road, that's an artist. That's not you're trying to get where you want to be, but you're doing it in your time and in your way. And that's what I love. You're not jumping over them hurdles trying to get to it. You're just taking that easy path and enjoying the ride. I like that.
Yeah, man. I just try to it's easier, at least for me, if I just be me. You know what I mean? People fuck with you or they don't. Same way with my music and everything. It's how it's always been. I don't give a shit. Like, I might not have the hugest following or whatever, but I got like 20,000 followers that follow me on Spotify and shit. And when I throw shows, people come out. That's cool. People don't like my shit or don't like me. That's fine. I don't give a fuck. Keep it moving.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
I love that. Yeah, that's me too. I don't care what nobody says or thinks. You don't like it, why you watching? Keep on moving.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Like, you ain't gotta waste your time and energy. I ain't gotta waste mine. I'm too old for that shit.
That's why I get so frustrated. I see these comments when I post stuff on my socials about the movie or photos or something, my podcast. People say something, and I get frustrated because some of I don't take criticism too well.
Yeah.
Positive criticism, like, hey man, that looked kind of stupid, but if you tried this or did this or did that, it looked better. I accept that.
Yeah.
But, you trash talk somebody, I ain't got room for that shit, and I don't want it around. I don't need it. I'm too old. That's high school shit.
Yeah, I don't I equivalent that shit, man, to like people putting fucking thumbs down on a YouTube video. Like, I'm petty, dog, and I don't even got time for that. Like, if I see
Right.
something, I'm like, this sucks. I just go to something else. I close the tab. I do something else and keep it moving. I'm not
Yeah.
like, fuck you, you suck, or go and dislike. But like, I got like 5 people on my YouTube channel all the time. I'll get like 4 or 5 dislikes. It could be like 4,000 likes, and there's always going to be 4 or 5. I don't know who they are, but they've never left. They just stick around just to be like, fuck you, man. Like,
Yeah.
all right, dude. Yeah, whatever. I used to care about that shit. I used to care about that shit. It shows too. Like, I'd see a bunch of people getting and having a good time, and then there'd be like 3 people that are just like, oh, this sucks. And I'd always think that the show was sucking because of the 3 people, not the 300 that are having a good time. So I'm just like, man, fuck this. We'll just let
But
it
those
rock.
are your those 4 negative people right now are your 4 positive guaranteed followers. You'll never lose them.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. I don't know what I did to fucking piss them off, man. But I was like, all right, well, whatever. I guess.
That's funny shit though. You said the same thing. I get the same 3, same 4 every single time. I love that though. But hey, you ought to give a shout out to them 4 people one day and something that you do. Be like, hey, this is for them 4 that's been following me since day 1 with the thumbs down. I got you.
Yeah, dude. It's kind of nuts. But I don't. Now it literally is funny.
So I know you're coming to Indianapolis. That's where I'm from. And I got a lot of people here that's into all kinds of different music, and a shitload that are into country rap and southern rock and stuff like that. So tell us, I know you got your set is about what, 20 to 25 minutes?
Yeah, yep.
Can you tell anybody what kind of songs you are going to perform when you on your tour?
I kind of mix it up, but I do like some hype songs. I do a full country song. I do a country, not country, but like I'd call it like 80s, 90s kind of like alt rock song. Like, it's mostly rap, but I mix it up. Like, I have a country song, a rock song, like a turn up song. Like, I got a good. You get a lot of dirty in 25 minutes. Like, there'll be something that you like. You know what I mean? Like,
Right
it
on.
doesn't matter what kind of shit you're into.
See that's that's versatile right there. You can play with the shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Try
I like
to.
that. So do you make your own music, or do you have somebody that helps you do the music and stuff for it?
I usually work with producers if I don't find somebody off on the internet, because it's just like how I write is I'll just find music, and then when I find something that makes me think of something, I'll write to it. But like Hard Target, he got into production, and like last weekend I went down there and we literally sat down in the room and fucking started from silence. He'd start fucking with a beat, I'd start helping, like fucking giving ideas for the beat, and then we'd have a beat, then I'd write a song, then we record a song, and then we fucking go to the next one and the next one. And that's just, so that was cool. That's the first time I've ever really started from silence and came up with a song on the spot, like created a whole entire fucking song, and we did like 4 or 5 of them. So that was cool. But yeah, for the most part, I don't. Back in the day, man, I like had a fucking electronic drum set, like a whole bunch of beat machines. I was doing all that, but it was like I might have made 100 beats. I never used one. Like, they just,
Damn.
by the time I was done making the fucking beat, it either turned into something else, or like I couldn't write to it anymore. Like, I don't know, it just wasn't a thing. So it's way more effective for me to write to, like, either with a producer and help them make a beat, or just find an instrumental that I like and then write to it. Because then all I got to do is my end. The instrumental part's already taken care of.
Right on. Yeah, I got a producer that he made let me think what it was called. He made a song for my movie, an original song with the beat, with his band, and produced the entire thing. Got it all ready to drop into my movie, and he's a phenomenal guy. He's out of Germany, and
Oh, nice.
never got to meet the man. My producers of the show here, Angified Presents, And was the lady who introduced me to him. They had interviewed him one time, and she goes, "I got somebody I'd like to introduce you to that, you two could network and collaborate on some music." And she sent him over, and we talked, and I'd love to make a song for that movie. And I'm telling you, he comes up with some beats that would just like blow your mind. I'll send you his information and Messenger later.
Nice.
So
Hell yeah.
you check him out. He's phenomenal.
Cool. Hell yeah.
So let me ask one more question, and then I'll close it out with you letting everybody know where they can follow you at, listen to your music. If you got any videos or other things that you want people to see, tell us all that, and then I'll have you send it to me in a message later so I can put it in the comments when I post.
All right, cool.
The last question is, tell us what your main inspiration is when you come up with this. When you get a beat and you hear it, do you have an inspiration that you use to create the songs that you come up with?
Well, like life in general is where I get inspiration from. But every song is different. Like if I hear, like the song Every L that I did, it's a country song. It was a good country instrumental that I heard, bought the exclusive of it. I knew in my head I had patterns and tones, and like I was like, I could definitely do something to this. It's in my kind of pocket, my voice range. I didn't write it for like a year after I bought the beat. I just came back to it. You know what I mean? So like every time it's different. Sometimes I might just be scrolling and I'll hear something and I'm like, oh shit, and I'll, maybe I was pissed off about something and I'll write something, or maybe I was, aggravated at myself for, fucking drinking or whatever, you know what I mean? Like it's very fleeting. Like if something, when it hits me and I write, and that's what it is. I don't know if there's ever been a time when I like just was like, oh, I gotta write a song like this or about this, and then I'll like write it. Like it just doesn't, never works that way for me, man. Like I like fluidity to the situation and shit. So like I know a lot of people that can write a whole song and then just carry it. Well, I mean, they use phones now, and I still write on paper, but like they have this shit, you know what I mean? And they'll just put it on whatever beat. But I don't like doing that shit. Like I try to make it kind of specific to each song. You know what I mean? Each mood, each vibe, how my voice sounds that day, all that shit. So. Yeah, I would say the short answer is just life in general is what I get full motivation.
Well, let me touch on that subject for a second. When you said you write on the old school way, which is what I do when I write poetry and stuff, is I use paper. I don't use exactly.
Yeah.
I don't use the phone. I don't use the laptop. I use paper. Write down that stuff.
Yeah.
When you start writing, do you do a lot of them? You get it sounding good. You'd be like, and then screw up and be like, God, I gotta start all over, and you get back to that spot again, and you can keep. How many times do you have to throw away a piece of paper and start over? Have you?
It depends. Like most of the time, I'll go around. Like if I fuck something up, I'll just scribble it out. Like I don't know if I have any. Yeah, like I'll just have a bunch of fucking scribbles and scratches and shit like that, and I just gotta kind of remember where I'm jumping around at. Or like when I record with Target, we work a lot faster. So like I might write down, 2 to 4 bars that I come up with, and I'll just lay them down and I'll slide them around. He'll just move them around and where the verse is, and then I'll just try to come up with other patterns and flows and just kind of fucking spit off the top. You know what I mean? And just put it together that way. Same with some of the shit that I sing when I'm down there. If I have somebody else working with me, just moves quicker, because then I don't have to worry about nothing but listening to the music and fucking around and trying to come up with, singing or like word, you know what I mean? Even if I'm joking and I sing some shit, if it sounds cool, like, oh, let's come up with words for that and sing it. You know what I mean?
That's what I do. I hear beats and I hear music and I hear instrumentals, and I'll sit here and I'll come up with some silly, ignorant, dumb stuff. And my wife will tell you, she just looks at me all the time and says, "You're stupid." And then, but there'd be that one time, I've done a few of them that they're good. They sound they sound funny, they're dumb, but they're good. And she'll be like, all right, now that was a good one. And I never write them down because they're just spur of the moment stupid shit, like some Weird Al shit.
Right.
And I need to start taking a recorder with me, so when I get that mood, I'll be like, click and start doing it and see what I can come up with.
Yeah,
but
hell yeah.
that's why I wanted to ask that question, because I write poetry, and sometimes I can just sit there and grab a piece of paper and flow, and then other times I'll have 1, 2, 3 lines in my head that's over and over, and I lay them down and I start playing with it, and so many times be like, oh no, that sucks. And so I like what you do. You scratch it out and just keep flowing.
Yeah.
And I rip the paper up and I start all the way over again. So,
oh, dude, sometimes I'll have 3 sheets of paper. I'll have like fucking 2 lines that I liked off one verse I started, that I scrapped the whole verse, and I'll fold the paper down there and hold it up to the back of the next one that I have. Like, it gets a little out of pocket sometimes. It just depends on how long I'm working on something.
that's what's up. I love that. That's that. Work with what you got and you keep on coming up with something new. Hey, let me go back to 5-6 weeks ago. What I do over here, I know I did something. Be like,
yeah.
And then look at the new shit. You got like 8-9 lines and be like, oh, I like that. Now you're doing that, moving it all the way around, trying to find a spot.
Yeah.
Yep, I love that. That's creative and innovative. That's what makes me want to be able to interview artists that I hear a song and it just clicks with me, and I get the chance to do that. It opens up more creativity for me and inspiration, because hearing that song, people don't know what links you guys go to from, like you said, from zero to finished. It's not an overnight thing, and being able to.
Sometimes it is. There's 0 to finished. We did like 3 of the songs we did might have taken an hour, from silence to an entire fucking song, the beat made, everything done, composed, fucking recorded, did all that. It just, sometimes it don't. Sometimes it takes a fucking minute.
But for that's a rarity for a overnight issue to happen. I've heard of a few artists say that they've got something done in an hour. Sometimes, like I watched Leo. He does Leapfrog on YouTube, and Leo plays every type of instrument known to man. He sings, and he does 30-minute scratch videos. So he'll start with nothing and talk to you as he's walking through it. Be like, let's come up with this beat. And he starts playing with the machine, and he gets this thing, grabs his guitar, starts playing, does all this stuff in 30 minutes, and he got a whole song.
Yep.
And it's killer to watch him start it and do it. And, he says, out of 1,000 artists, he said maybe 100 have been able to sit there and solidified say that they've done that.
Right.
And I was like, that's rare. So I mean, that's phenomenal to be able to sit there, like you said. You get an idea, you write it down, start playing with it, then you get with somebody, you just flow. I like that.
Yeah, hell yeah, man.
So let our people I hear know where they can find you, hear your music, and connect if they want to reach out to you.
You can find me anywhere by searching Dirty, DURTE, on any of the socials. It's at Dirty Music. And then also you can get everything, Pandora, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, all my socials, all that shit is at www.dirtymusic.com. But that's, if you go to dirtymusic.com, that literally at the top of the page will have every single thing that you'd want to connect with me on. You just click it and it'll take you there.
Right on. I'll make sure I put that in the comments when I do the posting. And Dirty, I want to say thank you again for coming out and talking to us, and giving us some insight to how you do your music. And I want all my fans and followers and new fans that come out and watch, go check out Dirty. And he's going to be in Indianapolis later this month at the Irving Theater. So make sure you check him out, get some tickets, and come out and enjoy that show.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
Not a problem. I appreciate it. I'll see you at the show.
All right, brother.
try to impress none. That's just the way that I flex, son. You line them up and I knock them down, and I tell you bring me the next one. And we will continue to just keep it moving, cause that is the way that we live. Too busy busting our asses and burning the candle when both ends are lit. Don't make excuses, we find ways to do it, and then we go handle our biz. You wanna know what they call me? They call me a dirtbag, you son of a bitch.
The pedal on the ride down on our lives, cause it's the only way we know. We never catch breaks or never complain, cause breaks just make you slow down. You can put us in the worst case scenario and we'll come in first place. I know how to work and I'll drink them all. Yeah, it's how the dirtbags roll.
Now the picture that we paint ain't a gimmick, man. Mess with us all night, we don't give a damn. Out in the sticks in the city, we work till it hurts and we drink till we're pissy, man. We got your back when it hits the fan. You're down and out, then you can count on us to help you stand. Don't ever wonder who's got your back. Just turn around and you gon' see a bunch of dirtbags.
Pedal on the ride down on our lives, cause it's the only way we know. We never catch breaks or never complain, cause breaks just make you slow down.
Hello, my friend. Oh, it's been about 10 months. I haven't sung a song for you. I feel someone to share this light and spotlight with you. Hello, my friend. Oh, it's been about 10 months. I'm glad I got to share this with you. 'Cause I miss so much that's kept me alive. Oh, it kept me alive. With you. Hello, my friend. I can't believe we're back again. It's great to play and sing with you. Hello, my friend. How about we try that one again? I'm feeling a little rusty too. Come rock and roll, 'cause that time that we've lost is gonna be a time we went through. But back together, here I am with you. Oh, back together, here I am with you. Hello, my friend. It's good to play again. Oh, hello, my friend. La 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 la. Ooh, 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 ooh. La 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 la. La 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 la.
Belting has more to do with the way the sound vibrates coming out of your face than it does volume. That's a common misconception. This is a belt. Ah! That note is forward. I feel it in the front of my face. I feel it vibrating here. This is not a belt. Ah! Ah! But it's about the same volume. That note is placed further back. I feel it more in the back of my throat, the back of my soft palate, that area. If you want a belt, make sure you feel it. You're directing the sensation of that note towards the front of your face.
Hey, Chris Liepe here with special guest Monuments Andy Sizik. Heyo! False chord screams.
That's right, let's get into it.
Now, especially when learning this technique. It can feel very abrasive and confusing. Give yourself every chance to succeed by properly warming up before you try any of what we're about to show you.
Always.
If you'd like to learn how to warm up like Andy does for the things that Andy does, click the link below in the pinned comment or the video description and join the free warm-ups course.
Do it! Monumental vocal warm-ups with Andy Cizik.
So the common starting point for people with the false chord scream is the engaged sigh, right? Listening to you do it, it seems like there's so much more to the tone than the sigh gives me. What else do you throw in there to get your unique sound?
So for me, I did start with that basic sigh, sort of like the end of a yawn. I also, speaking of yawn, I get like this dumb lower larynx Patrick Star position to my voice. It kind of makes you yawn.
It's brutal.
So what I was missing for a long time, and this would also cause me to just blow my air reserves right away because I'm already out of breath. I needed to factor in the concept of an onset and a light constriction, not an unhealthy constriction, but a holding back of the air. And so I started going from to more of a
More of a grunt.
More of a grunt, but without the so much in there. Just when you're getting comfortable with that tone, remove the H a bit. And then flex those core muscles to do a lot of that driving projection.
So what we just heard you do over the Termina track, though, sounds way more complex and more musical.
Yeah.
What else are you doing to craft that sound, to make it your unique Andy sound?
Well, the first thing I like to focus on is just mouth shape, to give it an extra dimension and change the pitch to a place that I want it to be. So instead of just, rah, 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 a little bit of pursed lips going on.
But that wasn't it. I mean,
That's just the first element.
I know mouth shape, sure, but there's something else.
Yeah.
I just heard you do it.
So this adds a lot more personality when I bring my voice, a little bit of my voice into the onset of the scream.
Just like the fry scream.
Yeah, just like it.
Yeah.
So I'll start out again. Rotten parasite! I'll just speak it in my chest voice range. And then I'll remember that, and I'll start to blend.
That's the end goal. So with the fry scream, you're starting in your head voice. It's a head voice based engagement. And with the false chord, it's a chest voice, literally a chest voice based engagement that brings you into the distortion.
Yeah, a lower, grittier engagement. So, rotten, 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 rotten. Still with my chest voice, but just on the onset of each syllable, adding a little of my own voice to flavor it.
And it doesn't seem like your voice is ever fully removed. That's what I was hearing.
Yeah.
There's this sense of it's a note, but almost more like an exhaust note, and not something that's a particular pitch or particular note, but there's a warmth to it that's very unique. Let's hear more of it.
Rotten parasite begging for a chance.
And you see how it kind of retains this human element?
Yeah.
Because screaming, a lot of times it sounds it's like a monster. It's like an animal, which I love, but I kind of want to create this angsty human turning into a monster hybrid.
And it could be just that you're right in front of me and I'm hearing that kind of detail because you're right here.
Yeah.
But that is something I've noticed about your false chord screams for a long time. It's like, there's more voice to it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, let's hear you do more over the track.
All right, let's do it.
Rotten parasite begging for a chance to me, riding on no line. Rotten parasite begging for a chance to me, riding on no line.
All right, now bring us from sigh to voice to full.
All right, here we go. Rotten parasite begging for a chance to be handed a new life. Rotten parasite begging for a chance to be handed a new life.
Thank you for separating out those stages. That really gives me some new things to practice.
My pleasure.
Again, Don't attempt particularly false chord engagements when you're not warmed up. Learn how to warm up properly and sustainably for this kind of technique. Click that link below in the pinned comment or the video description.
Monumental vocal warm-ups with Andy Sizik.
We'll see you for more.
All right.
I really enjoyed his solo stuff. And this is cool. Wait for something else. Am I? She sounds awesome. Yeah. Oh, she's got that high sheen, gritty sound. It fits perfectly with the music. Yes, it's partially what we love about Chester so much. It's on the verge of total self-destruction, her voice. But she maintains, right? Like, it sounds like it hurts, but it doesn't. It's being done healthily and oh, what a perfect. And this is why a female singer doing this kind of thing, and filling in for a higher male vocalist. Okay, females, because of the way their voices are designed, they can get that grit and not use as high of a constriction. Like Chester has this fry scream high sort of constriction. She can use a broader constriction, get more like torturous sounding grit. I think there's more to it. And because of the vocal disposition, because of the natural tone of her voice, it still fills that space so well. Whereas a male doing her exact technique right now would be too thick, too meaty. It's really a cool sound. By the way, I just looked up on the internet, just off screen just a second ago, to see if they were naming who the singer was. I'm going to look again because I happen to be watching during the premiere. Just real quick, hold on. Well, I don't see a name in the flurrying chat, so I'm just going to keep going. Emily Armstrong, okay. Right as I pause and look, Emily Armstrong, nice to hear you. Plays Chester, and there are lots of, one of the guys that I just worked with on my channel, I don't know that anybody, replicates Chester's tone like I've heard Andy Sizik do. But putting someone in who sounds like Chester, I don't think is the right move. I think you need someone to bring their own energy. And that's done much more cleanly by a female vocalist, because there's going to be less comparisons drawn. Well, like this male vocalist doesn't do it like Chester did, but there's like, I feel like someone who sounds sort of like Chester is already doomed to fail no matter how good their voice is stepping into this role. A female, where they might deal with some of that just because nobody can replace Chester, I think a female has a better chance of stepping into that role with less expectations to fill exactly what Chester did. And I know that's not what anybody really wants. Nobody can replace. Yeah, I think you see what I'm saying. Coming fresh off of just watching the entire live premiere where they introduced Emily. They opened with The Emptiness Machine. I'd only heard it live. And what you're going to see in a minute is me hearing it now for the first time as the studio recording. And really, really cool to wrap my head around her as a vocalist, having heard both the live and the studio. Wonderful edge to her voice and the production around it with the doubling and everything. She's got that nice high sheen. I'm not going to say, well, she has those qualities that make her voice work sort of like Chester's, but it's so different at the same time. There's that nice, sheeny, high-end distortion that we love about Chester, but with a thicker, broader disposition that can only come from having a female vocalist fill this role, I think. Got to hear this first live and was sort of like taken aback and not really like processing, like, oh yeah, brand new song, Linkin Park, new vocalist. Like, longer disposition. She does a good job of being bright and present, but then also being ho ho where she needs to be, and how she forms the vowels at the bottom of those phrases pitch-wise. Like I said, there's a thickness and an aggression there that is really helping her voice adapt, or not really adapt, but just fit into this. It's a really good fit. Really good. Yeah. Like I said, having come fresh off watching the entire live premiere, and then to see, to have this redirected, there's a lot of thoughts that I had going through my mind as she's performing all these Linkin Park songs. And maybe you'll see those thoughts here in a little bit, or hear those thoughts. Having a female vocalist step into this role, and someone who can do what she does, aggressive vocals, her own unique tone that does nod to Chester in lots of ways. It's pretty genius. To put another male vocalist in place, it wouldn't work. There are guys out there, and I had one in my studio, Andy Sizik from Monuments. I mean, he can sing these songs. He can sing these Chester songs. But it's time for a new era, a new perspective, a new wave of creativity. And to just get someone in there who could do some of what Chester did it was a male, it would have been too much pressure on that person, and that person would never be, if we're trying to go for Chester, we can't go for Chester. We have to go a new direction. And that's why this is so awesome. It's so awesome because it's a new direction that, in my mind, perfectly nods to who Chester was as a vocalist and what he did and what made these songs so special, but suggesting so many other possibilities. And you hear a little bit of that with this song, for sure, but I heard a ton of that watching the whole live premiere. So I hope you guys get a chance to check that out as well. If you're interested in singing and becoming more intimate with your own voice and creative possibilities with it, click the link below in the video description and join my free voice course. And be sure to check out a lot of the other videos I've done analyzing Chester's voice. I'm going to be analyzing a lot more of Emily. Welcome, Emily. If I were to learn to scream all over again, I'd do it differently. Here's what I've done wrong and what I'm doing right now that is helping me build my voice in an amazing way. I really got into extreme vocals via the Iowa era for Corey Taylor, Slipknot.
This and wonder what I've done to girls if I ignore you. As I close my eyes, I feel it all slipping away. I come towards you. We all got love behind. We let it all slip away. I ignore you. As I close my eyes.
And I just jumped right in, not even listening to isolated vocals like you heard there. I was listening to the album. My voice would burn out and never come even close to what Corey was doing. And what I would later realize is the problem with this approach is I'm not listening to a real voice when I'm listening to Corey Taylor Studio. He, in many interviews, had said in this era, there's very little, or if any, technique focus. He's just going all out with raw emotion, and the production, there's so much layering, there's distortion on his voice, there's all these things going on, in addition to this rawness of his performance, that when I go into that trying to learn from it, I am starting from a very poor place. As I would later develop my technique for safe, sustainable pitch screams like Corey Taylor does, I would realize that in order to get that sound, I also need to have a lot of production know-how as well. This is me all layered up.
Oh my
Friends have pictures meant to make you cry.
It sounds way different and way better than me just trying to make any one of those sounds. I was initially trying to make all of those sounds with one voice, not realizing that it was multiple voices in production that was producing the overall sound I liked so much. It's impossible. But I had my first major breakthrough when I figured out that I needed to focus not on just pure energy, but on placement and transitions in my voice. All sorts of transitions. Head to chest, and compression, and sighs in a non-really intense, emotionally engaged way, so I could practice them without burning out. And one of the best things I ever did was learn how to internalize Jonathan Davis's Korn sort of screwy beatboxing freak on a leash segment. Why? Because it's full of transitions. I'm actually practicing not locking myself into any one thing. I'm practicing entering head voice. I'm practicing entering false chord engagement. I'm practicing entering nasality and doing all sorts of funny things. But I'm doing it fast, I'm doing it rhythmically, and so if I tense up or give it too much energy, it all falls apart. So it served as this check. The other thing that was really great about it is I could listen to it and know that he was doing it all in one pass. Unlike the Corey Taylor stuff that I would listen to, it's all him doing it without layering. That was huge for me, and to be able to put that in my own voice was so freeing. Kisses up into head voice, rhythmic consistency, nasality, changes in placement all over the place. So by focusing on placement over power and transitions over consistency, I actually got the power and consistency that I wanted. This came about by focusing on more isolated, one-take, variety-oriented vocals rather than layered, produced, yet raw vocals. And my next breakthrough, and this is really the biggest of all, came from having real awesome vocalists right here with me making the sounds. So there was no barrier between what they were doing and what I was actually hearing. No music, no productions, no mic, no nothing. And then them being able to tell me that the sounds I was making were okay. And all the sensations that I feel while I'm dialing things in are okay. It totally takes the guesswork out of it for me. Can you go clean into wrong?
Yeah. Tell me what the fuck is wrong, right?
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong? What the fuck is wrong? What the fuck is wrong? So there's different layers and dimensions of leaning into that. Sending that feeling, that sensation up more into like my cheeks and my upper lip. That's where I feel like it's resonating. And instead I'm going, hey, whoa, I'm up here. You know, it's like, whoa, you kind of squeak into it with your head voice.
But that's weightier than what you're doing.
Yeah, mine's a little higher and lighter. You know, it's got this top shine to it.
And where you still have the wrong in the background.
And it's very close to what I'm doing. It's really just like
it's
channeling it up a bit more. Yeah, and that sounds great too. I mean, there's definitely a mix of things going on.
You don't get that just by listening and imitating because you might not be hearing things correctly or feeling things correctly. Having that interaction with someone is so important.
Also, if you notice, I'll put my hand up to my ear a lot because for those of you that don't know, when you sing or when you scream, your voice goes outwards. And unless you're like in the bathroom or like in the shower or in the car, it's going to be harder to hear. And you want to make sure that you're really hearing your voice.
Being able to hear and see the transitions from a more basic sound that I can do to the fully developed sound of a master over and over again is super helpful for me. And a guy that's really good at showing this kind of thing is Justin Bonnets from the channel Hungry Lights.
And if I slow that down,
so we can come alive! All right, I try. Transitions and placement and learn through raw interactions and feedback. rather than just relying on your ear. It's very unreliable, especially in the beginning. If you'd like to enhance your learning by working with some of the people that I've worked with, head to mymusicalvoice.com and check out all the options there. You can enter the code SCREAMBIG for a hefty discount. And for the full Corey Taylor and Jonathan Davis breakdowns that I used in this video, go here. They're so interesting and they were so revealing to me. Here's a quick test you can do to see if your voice is warmed up. This is assuming you've already done some warm-ups. Pick an upper chest note, a note that you can belt. Hey! Then flip back and forth between chest and head voice on that same note. Hey! Do different vowels. Ooh, 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 ee. If you're able to make that transition and have good closure, so a pure tone after that flip into your head voice, there's a strong chance you are well warmed up. If you feel raspy or you feel like that transition isn't able to be very abrupt, then you need to do a little bit more warming up. One of my best, most favoritist students sent this one over to me and said, you gotta do this one. And I really enjoyed the last Eminence Eddie vocal analysis video. It's just such a unique thing, playing the violin and singing and screaming and all the different sounds he gets out of his voice. So this one's live too. Thank you, Sennheiser.
What's the point of living in the dark? Trying to stop the bleeding of the heart. Tell me why you've forsaken me. Only death will ever set me free. Take this pain away.
Whoa. Listen to his use of breath with those notes. It's just beautiful.
What's the point of living in the dark?
The dark, no, the dark. There's a compressed breath over this. He's not dumping air. The dark. That's a really hard thing to do because he sounds relaxed and resigned, but also there's an intensity and a fullness to his tone that you don't get simply by just whisper singing or dumping air. And it's hard to maintain good pitch too, which he's doing very well.
Point of living in the dark.
You can hear the compressed breath on the end of dark because the tone goes away. Dark.
Trying to stop the bleeding of the heart. Tell me why you've forsaken me. Only death will ever set me free.
Free. Going up into his head voice and then breathing out of it. Free chest voice, head voice. Ooh.
Take this pain away.
Beautiful. I love this. Listen to the heavy guitars and the right now. Oh. So cool. just, it's that Metallica S&M ethos on a whole other level. The blend, the arrangement, that's speechless.
Caught in a circuit, no means to an end. I'm trying to quiet the voice in my head. Just cut me open and leave me for dead. I can't die, but the thought in my side, Lord knows I tried. Watch that night, like a knife in my back, into the blood. There's something in there.
I love that the harmonies, they blend real well, the piano player and Eddie, but there's this sense of imperfection and that raw energy that's still there. That's great.
There's something in there.
Oh, did you hear that grounding in his chest there? He's got a chestier upper constricted scream there. I love that. And the distortion they have over it and that fold back delay, that's great. It's sounding gurglier and sweeter than it normally does. His mouth has some mouth shape and upper constricted placement is giving it that wonderful sheen. If you'd like to learn how to sing and or scream with these kinds of interesting flares to your voice, but aren't quite sure where to start, click the link below and join my free voice course in the pinned comment or video description, and I'll help you start to pull things out of your voice you never knew were there, so that you can freely experiment and do some of these things successfully and well.
I feel a cold breath on my neck, telling me that I could be next. Every day is a struggle to deal with the pain. Everything's changing, but I stay the same. I can't die, but the thought at my side, Lord knows I tried. Watch that night, like a knife in my back, into the blood. There's something in there. Pulling me down in the
Low sludge.
There's something in there. Pulling me down in the deep. Won't you follow me to the edge? Won't you follow me? There's something in the water. Pulling me down in the deep.
Better than any studio recording you could ever do, with the trade-offs that are being made and the arrangement. It's just can really tell, like, contrasting what Eddie does versus Andy Sizek, who I've been working with in various courses and videos here on the channel. Andy's got that head voice approach to his fry scream. Yeah. And coming down, he's clearly coming up, which is a lot more like Lauren Babbitt, who I've also worked with. Getting that sort of, you can hear it in his approach and his descent. Great sound. I love how with that entrance, I both expected something to erupt, but also was completely surprised by the swell of strings. Beautiful. It hits you and cradles you at the same time. The mouth shape, bringing that to a lower disposition, a lower posture and sound. The last video I did on Imminence and Eddie, I break down his different screaming textures quite a bit. I hope you get a chance to check that out. I'll link it at the end of this video. Now, that guitar player is doing that low constriction. But they're matching tone. We've got the upper constricted sound of Eddie and the lower constricted sound going at the same time. Oh, that's a very false chord disposition. Sigh based. And they blend so well together. So cool. Listen to that again. By changing really very little mouth shape and a little bit of placement. I feel that constriction a little bit lower. It's higher constriction, lower constriction. And at the same time, I modify my mouth shape and try to place that sound, try to feel it coming over my mouth and more in my nose. Absolutely beautiful. Enjoying this several more times is going to be time well spent. This was fantastic. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Here's that link to my other imminence analysis. And again, if you'd like help with your voice, learning how to pull some of these tonalities out, singing, screaming, singing with distortion, dynamics, breathiness. If you'd like to learn how to pull some of that stuff out of your voice, but you're not quite sure how, click the link below and join my free voice course in the pinned comment or video description. We'll see you for more. Hey, Chris Liepe here with a compare and contrast Chester Bennington versus Emily Armstrong screaming techniques. And it's important to keep in mind as we go through this, the difference between varying techniques versus different voices. So approach versus natural sound and disposition. Analyzing these two voices together has been truly fascinating for me, especially as I start experimenting with my own voice based on what I hear each one doing. Let's dive into a bit of Dead Sarah to hear Emily's screams in her native habitat. Okay, again. Okay, that's from Dead Sarah, Lemon Scent. Now from Weatherman, The End, where it's not doubled, so we get a better understanding of her texture as a solo voice. Layered. Huh. And hear that little crack at the end? Let's listen to that one more time. Layered. Keep that in mind. Now listen to this sample from Jared Leto. I noticed some of these traits in the September 5th live performance with Linkin Park, but it's really cool to hear that she's been doing it this way even on the studio. It wasn't a live thing that I heard, like, do her screams sound that way just because it's live and nerves and stuff like that? No, this is her approach to screaming, and we hear it in this setting very clearly. It's very broken up. It sounds sort of inconsistent, and it's a very broad engagement. If I'm going to get there with this technique, I'm going to do this. Better fail! Now I have a male lower voice. I'm going to bring it down to where my voice behaves more like what she's doing. She is basing this in chest voice, and there's a lot of weight behind it. She's going up to a point in her chest voice. We better fail! Where it starts to falter, and then she pushes into it and then compresses into it. And it sounds loose and juicy. We better fail! We better fail! If you listen carefully, you can hear those falterings up into chest, or up into head voice, but firmly rooted in chest voice. And then there at the end, we hear that slow down because she's not compressing into it as much, and she's letting her voice falter. It sounds more like just little breaks. And we heard some of this stuff happen by accident in the live performance, but you can hear it happening here as just part of her overall sound. And when we listen to that Jared Leto sample again, we've got the note behind it, but we've also got that chesty, broad grit going into it. So I would say that her technique is more like Jared Leto, and a lot of people have drawn this conclusion. It's a little bit more like Kurt Cobain than the truly varied techniques we heard Chester Bennington do. For sure, Chester Bennington used this same sing-scream approach where it was chestier, but he also incorporated a lot of other techniques, a lot of other types of engagements, some narrower, some broader, some lower, some higher, that created a much greater range of sounds. And who knows, we may hear Emily do more of that. There were hints of that in the September 5th performance as well. When we're talking about an element that I believe isn't there yet with Emily, that was there for Chester, perhaps Chester said it best himself.
Scream singing. It's unlike yelling, where you're like yelling at somebody. You want to like relax the voice, use your diaphragm, relax the voice, use your diaphragm.
Now, of course, he's not really giving a lesson here, but that's really insightful. Relax the voice. Relax into the scream. And the more I study Chester with the help of friends, I realized that was a huge part, especially as he appeared to get more intense and rangy with his screams. His showmanship seemed like he was getting more and more and more intense. Whereas there was an element of relaxing into his voice that he was able to do to bring us the sound that we love. This is something that we didn't hear yet, haven't heard yet, from Emily. Let's do a bit more compare and contrast here, from one step closer.
Shut up when I'm talking to you! Shut up!
Okay. Shut up when I'm talking to you! To use Emily's approach. We're just gonna push up to the point to where we find our natural vocal break and then compress into it. Shut up when I'm talking to you! Shut up! Shut up! Okay, cool, intense, and there is a small element of relaxing into that, but it does seem to have this linear up to it. Okay, listen more. Also, there's a shut up! There's a very defined note there. She's sticking to that one note, and she's also sticking to the same area of engagement with her scream. Shut up! Shut up! So it kind of sounds the same every time. The pitch basis is the same, the engagement is the same. Okay? Listen a little bit more.
Shut up when I'm talking to you! Shut up!
There, she changed the pitch basis of the sing scream. Shut up when I'm talking to you! But she didn't change the type of engagement. If you're interested in developing and learning how to practice these types of engagements in your own voice, head to mymusicalvoice.com and check out any of the collaborative courses I've made with some amazing artists that will show you how to build these sounds in your voice. mymusicalvoice.com, and you can enter the code SCREAMBIG for a hefty discount. And you heard it that on that up, you heard that flutter chest-based up into her head voice. Listen to Chester do this same section. Already, that's a very different sound. What's going on there? Let's talk about that one. This is also chesty. I'm going to try real hard not to use terms, but instead describe things as sensations, because that's how I learn best. This is a chest up sensation, almost a throw up or gag sound, using an upper constriction, keeping the vocal cords engaged as we follow the sensation of constriction up, compression. Listen to this. Break! That's fairly low effort. If I were to approach that like Emily was doing her technique, break! I would be exerting way more effort along that pitch basis, and it's less consistent, as you can hear what happens sometimes to Emily in her performance. Listen again. We're using the mouth shape, and it's not that much effort, but it looks intense. You know, his face looks intense. Now, keep listening. Okay. Shut up when I'm talking. Now, it's easier for me to match the pitch basis here because we have more similar ranges, although he's still way higher than me. But we have a compressed yell. We're not into sing-screaming per se yet. We're more into that Chester yell phase, which it's not just a yell, it's a compressed yell. Shut up when I'm talking to you! I'm stating the note, and then I'm compressing over it. But I'm not coming from way down here. I'm choosing a higher pitch basis, not this. Higher. Shut up when I'm talking to you! Huh? There's an element of breaking, but I'm so firmly rooted in chest and compressing into chest before I break that the engagement is narrower, and it's just a compressed note, not quite a scream. Now, listen to what happens. It gets grittier. I'm going to exaggerate it, of course, but we've got, shut up when I'm talking to you! More of a compressed note, and then on shut up, he lets it falter with that broad engagement that Emily does, but with more compression, so it doesn't falter as much. And you hear that note in there still. Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Here it's also tighter. There's a higher engagement of compression. Shut up! Happening that's not happening with Emily. If we were to do this like Emily, shut up! It's looser, Chester, more like, yeah, shut up! Shut up! Mouth shape has a lot to do with this as well. You heard him go through a range on his voice, but also a range in engagements, the height of the engagement. Whereas Emily didn't really change the height of her engagement, where she's compressing, where she's constricting, Chester did. And that makes all the difference here. Yo! Yo! That's like the beginning one that I went over. He goes from, shut up when I'm talking to you! Oh! It's a different feeling engagement. The shut up is broader and a little higher. Yo! When he goes down in pitch, he also lowers the point of engagement in his throat. A different part of his throat is constricting. And it's also a narrower engagement as opposed to a broader engagement in terms of sensation. Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Ugh. Shut up! I'm about to break it again. Now listen as he goes into more of the pure singing. He's backed off on the constriction compression, and he's firmly rooted in his chest voice. He's no longer flirting with his vocal break like he was on Shut Up. Now let's go back and talk about the epic entrance into this section. It's different still. And this is where I'm talking about the element of relaxing into your voice being so important. We covered the break, but listen to the before that. There's very little voice in there. This is an all-out scream as opposed to a sing scream. It's not quite completely voiceless, but it's more voiceless than what we normally hear out of Chester. And it's high. Now, it's important to note that with Chester and Emily, there's always an element of a pitch basis, a sing scream. Neither vocalist completely removes the note. But in this case, and in many cases, Chester removes the note so much that if you're not listening with, isolated vocals, you don't really hear the note, you just hear the scream aspect of it, or just all distortion, like this one.
This riff is killer. That's a full-on scream.
Uh-huh. All right, do that. Do the range. Yeah! So even Andy there. But listen to how Andy develops it. It's a very relaxed engagement.
We're placing that,
that's up here.
Higher. I feel it. again, it's like, so I'm taking
hardly any effort from him to get that sound.
Right, I'm starting from and then adding some air, and then I sort of combine.
You hear me doing it too?
Combining that with the power of a head voice shout. God! You know, God!
And this brings to light something that we don't hear Emily doing, that we hear Chester doing, especially when he gets into his real crazy, like given up type screams. Entering from a relaxed state of head voice and developing it in the way that Andy is showing us here.
I got the yeah, that very squeaky, and I started to combine them. And I'm even feeling a little bit of support from my core.
Here's me practicing and playing with this deceptively light sound, so you can get an idea of someone who doesn't have this built into their muscle memory yet. Whoa, yeah, huh? Hey, that's sounding like a very lighter, higher placed resonance. The constriction is up there as opposed to but it's still compressed into, it's still supported, and it's a head voice down approach. We hear Emily do this just a little bit in part of the September 5th performance.
The very worst part of you.
You can hear that contrast between her connected, basically chest voice broken up versus that head voice approach. It's thinner, there's less note involved.
The very worst part of you.
So we know it's there. We just haven't heard her lean into it as much as we've heard Chester. And I'm sure we'll hear more of that as the band progresses with Emily as the new singer. Hopefully you found this helpful. Like I said, I found this super fascinating to go in and compare and contrast and experiment. Again, if you'd like help developing and practicing these types of engagements with your voice, I've got lots of resources. Head to mymusicalvoice.com and enter the code SCREAMBIG for a hefty discount on any course you see there. We'll see you for more.
Are you gonna spread love or hate? Are you gonna spread love or hate? Are you gonna spread love or hate?